Mr. Poilievre, 7 minutes.
When will construction begin on the Trans Mountain Pipeline?
I think, as you know, are currently going through an engagement process with the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion project. That has been announced to be a process that will end on June 18th. At that stage, the decision on the project next steps will come to Cabinet, and we'll come to a conclusion on the appropriate next steps.
And when will construction begin on the Trans Mountain project?
As I said, I think what we want to make sure is we go through this process in the appropriate way, responding to the court decision on the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion. So we are doing that, and as we get to a conclusion, as I said, June 18th will be the date. We'll have more information for you.
You promised the project would begin construction before last summer. Still not a single shovel in the ground. When will construction begin on the Trans Mountain project?
Happy to continue answering the same question with the same response. What we've set out to do is to follow the court direction and to ensure that we do that in a way that meaningfully engages Indigenous peoples, other people concerned with this project. We are going through that, and I believe it's a robust process that, as we've said publicly, will conclude in time for us to bring to Cabinet a decision on June 18th.
When will Cabinet announce its decision?
Well, as I just identified, we are going through a process.
On what date? Just the date. I just need the date. That's all.
Perhaps there's an acoustic problem. I'm not sure, but what we're doing is we're coming to that conclusion on June 18th. So
you'll announce on the 19th, the 20th of June?
For clarity, we're going through a process that will culminate in a Cabinet decision on June 18th, and that'll be the time period at which we'll be able to communicate to Canadians what our conclusion was.
Wow. So we will get a decision on the Trans Mountain Pipeline on June 18th. Your counterpart, Minister Sohi, has said there might not be a decision before the election, but you're confirming there will be. Yes or no?
What I'm confirming, as I've just said, is that the process that we've been going through will lead us to a Cabinet discussion.
But will the decision be announced before the election, yes or no?
I expect that on June 18th we'll be able to provide you with more information because we're going through a process.
A decision?
As I said, we're going through a process that will lead us to a...
You bought the thing a year ago. You promised that construction would begin immediately. You said the very latest it would start at summer. It hasn't started. I asked you 5 times already when the construction will begin. You can't give an answer. And now you can't even tell us when you'll publicly reveal your decision on whether it's going to go ahead ever. Can you understand why Canadians are a little worried after you put $4.5 billion of their money at stake and canceled 2 other pipelines, that you might have just engaged in a monstrous boondoggle here?
Well, what we recognize is important is that we go through the review and the discussions with the interveners in this project in a way that respects their points of view. That process is going on. I'm quite encouraged because the process is going on at the pace that I expected it to. And
really? You expected it would take a year before any construction began?
Mr. Poilievre,
that was what you expected?
The minister has the floor.
And that is leading, as we've publicly stated, to our ability to get to a discussion on this on June 18th.
Well, there's been lots of discussion. We know that you do nothing but discuss. We want a decision and construction. Can you give us the date that you will announce the decision and the date construction will begin?
2 dates. That's all I'm looking for.